What's up, YouTube fam? Here we go again with another one. As y'all can see, this whole transgender movement shit is obviously not going nowhere. I don't understand for the life of me why so many people have this problem, this what they call gender dysphoria, which is a real thing, I guess, where people believe that they're the opposite sex of what they are. Like if you're born a man, you believe that you're actually a woman, or if you're born a woman, vice versa. Now you got motherfuckers believing that they're fucking cats and dogs. And you know what I think's gonna happen next? You're gonna have a grown man saying that he identifies as a child. Or imagine that. Or imagine a 6-year-old identifying as a grown person and stealing their mama's car and driving around town. Because, you know, I mean, at what point do you draw the line and say, nah, this is fucking crazy? Because they're letting grown-ass men or males, I would say, because anybody who dresses and acts like a female is not a real man. But they got grown-ass males walking into female locker rooms. This happened in, I can't remember where it happened. It was a whole nother state from where I am. Let's just say that. But it was an African-American woman named Tish Hyman. And she was the victim in this situation. And not that race really matters, but I'm just putting it out there because it is going to be very significant here in a minute. And I'm going to explain. So, you got African-American woman in the gym working out. Now, mind you, this chick is kind of like, she's a little butch, you know. She's obviously on the L side of the LGBT, if you know what I mean. She's you know, she probably likes to eat the kitty cats, you know. But she's obviously a big butch type of chick, you know, like kind of manly type chick. But she's a female. She doesn't identify as a man, none of that stuff. She, in her mind, you know, she knows she's a female, but she's a lesbian female. I don't even know if you could say that on YouTube no more, but yeah. But anyway, she's a lesbian African-American female. She was working out at the gym. And what happened was, this is a true story, y'all. This just recently happened like a few days ago. Some trans guy walks into the fucking locker room. I guess had his dick swinging or whatever, but I'm guessing the lady said that she was naked. She was changing. And then some big guy coming in here who believes that he's a woman, don't even look like a woman, just like a big old man, you know. It's funny how, like, even dudes that don't work out, like people that ain't like super big and buff, for some reason, every time they try to pretend like they females, you can just tell they a fucking male. It's like, man, to any little dude out there that wants to look big, just dress like a female. You automatically look like 10 times buff. Have y'all noticed that anytime like one of these trans dudes, they can be small as fuck, but as soon as they throw in that dress, boy, them shoulders get like, purr. This shit is crazy to me. But I don't know, it's just something I noticed, man. Like, wow. They really look more manly when they try to look like females. Like, you can really tell that this is a male. That's how fucking ridiculous it is. So dude walks into the fucking locker room and she go off and shit. And I think they kicked the lady out, like the lady that was going off about the dude coming in the woman's locker room. I think she's the one that got victimized. Like, she got kicked out of the gym for being discriminative or whatever. And guess what? Once again, it was a group of men that had to come to rescue her. I think it was like 2 white dudes and a couple other dudes came in there and was like, hey, bro, you got to get the fuck out this locker room. Y'all, this is really getting crazy. I could have sworn when Trump was being inaugurated and shit, he said there's going to be men and women only. There will be 2 genders, men and women. No more of this fucking clown world shit. But for some reason, man, these transgender people seem to be very bold. It's just like, this is a mental illness. We need to bring back asylums. There are crazy people. You know, I want to make this clear. I don't have any hatred towards anybody who's gay. I don't have any hatred towards people who are transgender or anything. If anything, I actually kind of feel sorry for these people, because I do believe that some of these people, some of them were born that way, and a lot of them really can't help it, you know. Just like, you know, like, not to compare this with any other condition, but like, you know, very similar. Just like if a person has autism, you know, people are usually born that way, and it doesn't mean they're bad people, doesn't mean they're going to hell, it doesn't mean that God hates them, you know, it doesn't mean that they're stupid, it doesn't mean that they're not worthy people. It's just they have a condition where their mind is different. You know what I'm saying? Just like a person who's born gay. Let's say a person's born when they're transgender. You know, they may not can help it. It's a problem. But that's not something to be celebrated. Like all this Pride Month and LGBT waving flags. Man, imagine if everybody said, yay, hooray for autism. We want all our kids to have autism. Like, no, nobody's gonna say that. Not because people with autism are bad people, but because we know that having autism is not an ideal situation. Even though people with autism seem to be very, very excellent and very, very, very amazing in their minds, very creative and just very, very amazing people. But at the same time, they have a condition that makes them different. So let's look at a person that's gay or LGBT, you know, not to compare the two, not to say that a person with autism is the same as a gay person, because no, okay. Honestly, I respect a lot more people who have autism than I do a lot of these LGBT people, and that's for very good reasons. I'm about to talk about this here in a minute, but hear me out. If a person is gay or transgender and he genuinely cannot help that, I feel like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as this person is respectful and they know that they have a condition, they know that there's something different about them, and they just respect the fact and other people can respect that. That's fine. That's the thing that a lot of people don't know about me. I'm a very understanding person. If you're born a certain way, like if you're a person right now watching this and you were obviously born a male, but you feel like you're a female and you dress and act like a female, I'm telling you, just be you. Nobody's gonna treat you bad. I would try to say get some help, man. Maybe, you know, try to see some therapy, but they don't offer things like this for transgender people. They automatically exploit the disease. They automatically tell me, hey, it's okay, Pride Month. And why are we celebrating a mental illness? Okay, gender dysphoria is a mental illness. Being gay and lesbian and all this shit, it is a mental illness. Again, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that you're stupid. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you have a condition that makes you think different. You know, just like, let's say, once again, people with autism. From what I understand about autism is everybody recognizes certain patterns, but people with autism recognize these patterns a little differently. They recognize the patterns different from most people. And unfortunately, the world runs on generality, meaning like you're not going to say that people have two heads. No. Human beings have one head, even though there's obviously human beings out here that got two fucking heads. They're called Siamese twins or conjoined twins. And even though that's a rare case, it does exist. But we're not going to say that everybody has one head, or we're not going to celebrate having two heads because there's a rare condition. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, so like I said, a person who's autistic, he recognizes patterns differently from the way other people recognize patterns. So a person who's gay is attracted to the same sex, whereas most people are attracted to the opposite sex. So it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means they have a problem. They have a mental problem. And when you say that to them, they get offended. So the first thing, just like with the black community, y'all, the first way that you can fix your problem is first you have to admit that you have a fucking problem. And most transgender people do not do that because they're being exploited by the media to think that it's okay and it's perfectly fine to be how they are, when it's really not. And a lot of those people can help it. Different from a person who's autistic, where they really just can't help it. That's just how their brain is wired, and that's that. Whereas a lot of people used to be straight and they get turned out. They go to college and start doing drugs and having orgies. Next thing you know, they're fucking dyeing their hair pink and all type of shit and getting piercings in weird places. It's a mental sickness. So, I'm gonna close this video out saying is that you got all this equal rights and all this, you know, Black Lives Matter and everybody's so goddamn equal and we're all just one big happy family and we're all just gonna sing Kumbaya and bang on our little congos. In reality, y'all, they have hijacked the black movement. I've been saying that they have the gay agenda people. I'm not even gonna say the community, just the people who are pushing this gay agenda. We all know who they are, the people with the small hats. Let's not bullshit. But they're pushing this idea of, you know, they want everybody to be weird and LGBT and all this rainbowy shit. They don't give a fuck about black people. They don't want to help black people's conditions. They want to cause more racial tension. Y'all can't see that. Y'all, the LGBT movement has hijacked the black revolution and they call it BLM. or Black Lives Matter, which really means let's all be fucking gay. Black, white, let's all just have a one big circus orgy. And that'll make the world all peaceful and better. You know, that's their agenda, and it's so obvious. So black people, I hope this is a wake-up call that they will pick the transgender person over the black person. Because now you got black people being angry. Just like with the feminist movement. I've talked about this before. The feminists, you know, women's rights and women's power, and the moms should be the dads, and the fathers should stay in a fucking cage and pay child support. Man, fuck that. Guess what? Now the feminist people are also going at it with the transgender people. Because you got grown-ass men walking in women locker rooms. And y'all, and I'm gonna close this out with this, man. Any grown-ass man who thinks that he's a female should be put into a fucking insane asylum. Just like people who think there's an invisible man in the sky with superpowers should be put into a fucking mental institution. Just like people who believe that they're cats and dogs. You know what I'm saying? And these people should be rehabilitated and taught the fucking truth. So, again, I have nothing against people who are gay, people who are lesbian, people who are transgender. But you need to realize that you have a fucking problem. And you cannot want the world to fucking adjust to you. Because I'm telling you, I got 2 daughters. And if any grown-ass man or any young man walks into the locker room while they're changing, I'm going to show up and I'm going to bust their ass. And you can charge me with a fucking hate crime. All right? This is Molly the Father. I love all y'all. Do the right thing. Take care of each other. Peace.